I can't believe today is October 1st. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing my September wrap up. It was a pretty decent reading month for me. I read a total of 5 books and a lot of them I really enjoyed, so I think that makes it a pretty good reading month. The first book that I read in the month of September was The Wrath and the Dawn. If you haven't heard anything about this book, it's actually part of a duology and it was something unlike anything I'd ever really read before. It's set in the Middle East, which is a setting I haven't really read much about, and it was honestly so beautifully written. I think the author did an incredible job describing the setting. So this book is about this country where this young boy king takes a bride, and the morning after their wedding, the young bride is dead. And the main female character, who her name is pronounced Charizard or Charizard. I don't know how her name is pronounced, but I just thought of Pokemon every time her name came up. But anyway, she is our main female character, and her best friend had married the young king, and of course she ended up dead. And so our main character, Charizard, it's not Charizard, but that's what I'm gonna say for the rest of this. She marries the boy king as like a revenge. She's going to kill him, but she doesn't end up dead. It's really, really good. I'm definitely gonna be picking up the second book. I gave this first one 4 stars. It's not necessarily a book that I wanted to read the second book right away, but I know that I'm definitely going to read the book to see how it all ends. So the next book I read was for the September read along, and that was P.S. I Like You by Casey West. I do have a full review of this, so I'm not really gonna go too much into it. Basically, it's just a really cute contemporary book. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was funny and adorable and a little predictable, but in an enjoyable kind of way, and I rated this book 5 stars. Next, I read Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, and this is the 4th book in her Throne of Glass series. I'm preparing to read Empire of Storms. This book absolutely blew me away. It was my favorite book out of the series so far. I gave it 5 stars, and I'm pretty sure it was my favorite book that I read in the month of September. It was just absolutely incredible. I have complete faith in this series again, and I still don't have Empire of Storms because my library isn't getting their copy for another month or so. It's something about it's the end of the library's fiscal year, so they can't buy any more books, which means I am just gonna go crazy until Empire of Storms finally is available at my library. Next, I read a book, well, I more so listened to the audiobook of The Felon Boyfriend by Casey West. Because I read P.S. I Like You and I really, really liked it, I wanted to read something more by this author because I thought I was in a contemporary mood. This book, I actually gave 1 star on Goodreads. I really didn't like it. It was a lot to do with the audiobook. The voice actor really sounded like Elle Woods from Legally Blonde, so it just felt dumb to me, and like the book was dumbed down, and because of that, I couldn't get into it, and I didn't like any of the characters. The plot didn't interest me at all. It was predictable in a way that wasn't enjoyable, like with P.S. I Like You. I don't know if it would have been different if I had read the actual book. I think it would have changed my rating maybe a little bit, but overall I wasn't a big fan of that one. The final book that I read in the month of September was The Likeness by Tana French. This is the 2nd book in her mystery series, except it follows a different main character. But basically, this young woman shows up dead and looks exactly like Cassie, and she just kind of goes undercover as this dead girl. So it was really, really cool. I loved it a lot more than the first book. It also was very messed up and heartbreaking, and it makes you just go, why am I reading this at the end of it? I'm also going to include some of the books for my October TBR because there's just a few books that I know for sure that I'll be reading in the month of October. The first book I already mentioned in my October read-along announcement, but is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I should have memorized his name by now. I'm just really bad with names today, apparently. But I'm gonna be reading this book. I've been putting it off for far too long, and this will be the book for the October read-along. The next book I'm reading with my book club friends is The Wild Inside by Christine Carbo. This book, just the cover, first of all, is so beautiful. It's apparently about this guy, and when he was a child, his father was attacked by a bear, and now it's years later, and he's this inspector in the Department of the Interior or something like that, and he kind of comes across a case that's very similar to his own, so it's a bit of like a mystery element, and his past is brought up again. I just really, really like the cover. And the final book I know for sure that I'll be reading in the month of October is The Wild Goose Chase by Mark Batterson. This is actually a nonfiction, and I don't read nonfiction, but my husband really loves this book, and it's pretty short, so I'm going to be giving it a try. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I don't really know too much what it's about, but the tagline says, "Reclaim the adventure of pursuing God," so I'm really interested in reading this. I'm trying to read more nonfiction, and this is like a first endeavor into that territory. Those are the books that I have so far for my October TBR. I'm definitely going to be reading more, but I just don't know what it's going to be yet. So thank you for watching, and happy reading.